What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. If you're new here, my name's Joe. You're watching Living on Wheels. So today we're going to have, I keep saying another quick video. They never end up being that quick. But today we're going to have a video, maybe it'll be quick, about another upgrade or mod that I'll be doing to my 7.3 Powerstroke, which you see in the background. So this video is actually kind of started from a subscriber because he reached out to me and told me that he had a part that he bought for his OBS 7.3 that he ended up not needing. And so this part is a intake heater delete plug from Riff Raff diesel. So for those of you that don't know, the Super Duties is when International or Ford, I don't know which one, decided to put in a intake heater into the Spider intake of the trucks. And so what that does, it's basically a coil that gets electricity sent to it to heat it up to increase the intake temperatures. Kind of the whole point of this was in really cold conditions and idling conditions, the intake heater would turn on to help reduce smoke and help create a more efficient burn within the cylinders. For the most part, it's basically worthless. Maybe if you live in a really cold climate, it'd work out. I don't live in a cold climate. I'm up here in Oregon. Lowest we get is maybe down into the single digits. So I don't really care about it, and that's very, very rare. So today, thanks to that subscriber, he ended up sending me the plug for me to put into my truck, and then I went on to Riff Raff Diesel's website and ordered the wire or cable so that it doesn't throw a code when I put this in. Because it's tied into the computer system, it does have the ability to throw a code. Now I'm not 100% sure whether it'll always throw a code if it's unplugged, or if it'll just throw a code if the computer tells it to activate and it's not there. But either way, the cable and the plug themselves are like $8 or $9 a piece, so it's a cheap mod. So I wasn't too worried about it. The subscriber was nice enough to send me the plug. Thank you very much. You know who you are. I got the cable, so we're going to be throwing them in the truck today. So kind of the whole purpose of deleting the intake heater is basically it's a big thing in the middle of the intake that takes up a lot of room and blocks the flow of air going into your engine. And for people that know engines, the better the airflow, the better they run, the more efficiently and effectively they run. And the intake heater is a big coil in the middle of the intake that takes up a good chunk of the intake, and so we're going to be pulling that out. I don't need it. I don't live in a cold environment. I don't expect to see a huge horsepower difference or anything of the sort, but get the truck to run a little healthier is never a bad thing. So we're going to hop up in the engine bay. I'll kind of show you what we're looking at, and then we'll get started on the install. Should go pretty quick. Alright, so here we are in the engine bay of the truck. When I was talking about the Spider intake, that is what this thing is right here. They call it a spider because it kind of branches off in 4 different directions. Kind of like a spider, just 4 legs instead of 8. So as far as the intake heater goes, on the Super Duties, they are right here. This is the intake. The air comes from the turbo down through this intercooler pipe, down through the intercooler here, across. That's the radiator. Intercooler's right about there. Across, and then back up into the intake of the engine, which it splits off and goes into both heads. So the intake heater is right there. It's got a power wire and a ground wire, and it runs over to this relay, the front one here. And so it's got the power wire that comes off there, runs down over into the intake, and then the other one, the ground wire, actually it's kind of hard to see, but it runs right down to that intake plenum bolt right there. I know it's kind of hard to see, a little dark, but down in there. We're going to take both of those off, pull that plug out, or the intake heater out, the coil, and then put our plug in its place. So I'm going to get to work and take you guys along. Alright, so on this, once you get that power wire off, you got an insulator, which is this thing, and then you got your ground wire right there, and now I believe that is a 1-inch spot to pull that out, or the actual heater out, I think I'm going to remove the wires first. Just get them out of the way. Like I said, it's pretty simple. Just got to get up and do it. A little hard for me, being in a wheelchair. Trying to get up here and whatnot, but it's doable. It's really not that bad. Now on this terminal on the relay, you have a blue wire and a red wire. If my knowledge or memory serves me correctly, you're going to want to leave the blue wire on there, because then the computer will still know that the relay is working and picking up the signal to turn on. Of course, it's starting to rain. Wouldn't be Oregon without rain in the middle of a project. There we go. We got it out. There's a power wire. Hopefully it doesn't start raining too hard on me. And then we'll put that blue wire back on. And at the same time, we're going to take our wire supplied by Riff Raff, and it looks like it has a resistor wired in the middle of it in line. I can't say for sure, but this is what it is. I think we're going to take this and wire it over to a grounding point, which I think I'm going to use the AC bracket, is what other people have said. But yeah, we'll put this on that terminal. Put that on there. Get the nut. Put the nut back on. And it is really starting to rain. This is lovely. How come it always happens that beautiful day, as soon as you start a project, it wants to rain? And of course, I'm working out in the driveway, so I might take a break real quick, see if it dies down. We'll see. Alright, we're back. Rain passed pretty quickly, thankfully. And I think I'll leave that disconnected for now. Go down and get the ground wire. For those of you wondering, this is my fuel bowl heater. For any of you guys that might know this, not sure if you do, if there's a plug or something to just fill this and plug it in. Obviously I don't have my fuel bowl. I have a brand new, or I have a full custom fuel system, and obviously I don't need that anymore. If anybody knows if there's a dummy plug or something I can plug into that, that would be great. Leave it in the comments below. I would appreciate it. Alright. I'll tell you what, guys, when I first bought my first 7.3, things were pretty intimidating looking down under the hood here. And to an extent, it's still a lot of stuff to look at, but it's not all that complicated. It's just a little tight, and you got to figure out what things are. It's a learning process. So don't be afraid to jump in there and figure things out. For the most part, you can't really wreck these trucks. I mean, you can, but you'd have to do something pretty hard to... Well, looks like I undid the right one. That's a good start. Got it off. And there's the ground wire. Nothing crazy. Put that nut back on. I guess I probably don't even need to, but, you know, it's good to have there. You never know when you might need a spare nut with a Ford. Just kidding. Kind of. I do love Fords. I'm not incredibly biased, but I do like them. Each truck brand has their own pros and cons, I would say. It's more personal preference than anything else. And what your budget can allow. Alright. So I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing right now because it's behind the intercooler pipe. But it is basically, you have a stud on your intake plenum that the nut goes onto and the wire attached underneath. And you're just taking it off. Get that a little snug. Alright, so I think we are on to actually pulling the grid heater. So
I believe I saw on the instructions that that is a 1-inch socket. Oh, please be long enough. And of course it's not. Okay, time to grab another tool. If you have a 1-inch deep socket, that should work. I do not, amazingly. So I'll be right back. Grab 2 tools. One, crow's foot wrench. See if that works. If not, we got the almighty crescent. It's actually my first time using a crow's foot wrench. I got them a little while back because they're one of those things that you may not use all the time, but when you do, you're glad you have it. We're gonna see if I can get this thing to work. Oh, we might be in luck. I think we are. Get it snug. There we go. Alright, hopefully I didn't just jam a crow's foot wrench in there. The stool's not tall enough. Alright, let's see if that's loose enough to get by hand. Of course not. Alright, so we're going to try this. See if I can make this work. Just barely. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh yeah, we got it. Alright. So, hopefully you guys can see this. Whole unit comes out together. You're curious to see how much oil is on it. From the crate case venting in through the intercooler. See how much can get all the way through. Alright, so got it out. There we have it. That is your grid heater. I'm sorry, grid heater, that's a Cummins thing. This is your intake heater. Does have some oil on it. I'm not too surprised, but as you can see, you probably have, I think it's a 4-inch pipe going into your intakes. And this is maybe 3/4 of an inch, so you're taking out probably 20% of your intake with this. So I don't think it'll make a huge difference, but I do think it clears things up a bit. And there's a reason why people pull them out, because you don't really need them. Also, you do not need to get the block off plug like I have. I know a lot of people just end up cutting it off, end up cutting the intake heater there, and just putting it back in like it was. The plug is only $10, and it's also tapped for a boost gauge. If you want to hook your boost gauge up to there, that's where a lot of people do it. I use an electronic boost gauge through the OBD2 port with my Edge CTS, but that's another way to do it, and a lot of people do it that way. I don't need to, so we're taking this all the way out. So now, I believe it's time to just put it back together. So this is your delete plug. As you can see, it's got a port in the middle. I don't even know if this is focused, but it's got a port in the middle, threaded port you can type your boost gauge into, and it's just a plug that threads right on in. So we're going to put it in, snug it down, and button her back up. You know, for those that don't know, you can watch my very first video, it's not very good, but I actually broke my neck in high school, and so that's why I'm in a wheelchair. And along with that, some of you might have noticed my hands don't actually have full function in them. Of course, just about all of my body doesn't have full function in it. So, gotta make do. Some things are a little harder. But, got that threaded in. Another reason I don't have a topside creeper, I've had a few people ask me that, because I would like one, but I can't physically, I don't have the strength in my legs yet to use one. The steps on this stool are a little bit shorter, and so I can actually use that as opposed to a creeper, which is not. The steps are just a little bit taller, so it's kind of more of a pain. I guess not more of a pain, it's just impossible at this point in my life. Who knows? Sorry for rambling. But you're scared to do something like this, just remember, guy in a wheelchair did it. I think you guys can get to it. Alright. See, that's pretty tight. There we go. I'm going to put that code eliminator wire on. We'll just loosen up the AC bracket. This is where I've seen a number of other people tie it in. Loosen it up. Slide it in underneath. There you have it. We have it all wrapped up. As you can see, got the delete plug right there. Nice and clean. Didn't scratch it up too much. And then down there, that's right where, right there. That is where the ground wire went. And then we have the code eliminator wire right there. Ties in right there where the power wire was, and then we grounded it to the AC bracket. Not 100% sure if I like where it is right there, but for now I think that'll do. So I think that is it for underneath the hood. Hopefully it was good information for you guys. I think it turned out pretty good. Even if there's no performance gains that I see, I think it just is nicer to keep things clean underneath the hood. I know there could be a cover to cover all this up. I just don't like the look of the cover, and I don't like taking it off every time I have to work on something. So we're gonna keep it as is. I'm still debating on what to do with the intercooler piping. At some point I'd like to powder coat it. I don't know when that'll happen, or if I'll paint it first to try to get an idea of what it looks like. Let me know what you guys think I should do. Another 7.3 channel. The guy's name is, or the guy's channel name is Fix It Nick. He's a super good guy. Channel's much bigger than mine, and over the last, I don't know, half year to a year, he's been working on a nice 7.3 F350 dually. Super nice truck. He's been doing a lot of good work on it. So if you're interested in other good 7.3 content, check him out. He's got good stuff. I'd imagine most of you guys already know about him, but if not, check him out. A lot of good information. His videos are probably better than mine, but nonetheless, check him out. He's a good guy. All right, there we go. We got it all buttoned up. What kind of an install video would it be if we didn't have a quick test drive along with the video? So let's fire it up, let her warm up a little, and we'll head out on the road. See how she does. I don't expect to see a big difference, but gotta have a test drive with every install. Get into focus. Fires right up. No lights. That's always a good sign. We'll wait for this. We can check the codes on it. Alright, so let's check the codes. If you're not familiar with this, this is an Edge CTS. I have a video on it kind of explaining all the ins and outs of it. Let's read for codes. And nothing. Exactly what we want to see. So we'll let her warm up for a few minutes and hit the road. I know this is not the greatest camera angle right now. Still trying to figure out the best way to mount up my camera so you guys can see things better. But this will do for now. At least you guys get to enjoy. At least you guys get to enjoy the nice sound of a good old 7.3. And we finished up right before the rain. It's always good. Nice 7.3 for you guys.
maybe half throttle. Got to about 9 pounds of boost. Nothing crazy. This should give us a little bit of room to give her a hard run, hardish run. Then I'll probably sign off. Alright, hit 20. Honestly, it felt basically the exact same as it did before. Like I expected. So, nothing crazy. She still moves, gets up and moves pretty good. She's not built to go fast, but she'll move out of her own way now. Alright guys, I think we'll end this video here. I'm going to chill, relax for the rest of the night, maybe grill up some food. Like I said, this isn't a big mod. I wasn't expecting anything crazy out of it, but I had a subscriber offer to send me his delete plug because he didn't need it, and so I figured I might as well go buy the delete cable at the same time and give you guys an install video. Truck seems to be running great, no codes came up. Everything seems good. Riff Raff has always been a good company to work with for me. I've always been able to rely on their service and their parts. So if you're in the 7.3 community, I'd highly recommend checking out Riff Raff if you need anything for your truck. Like I mentioned earlier, the channel Fix It Nick, he's also a really, really good 7.3 channel. A lot of good information. He's doing a really good job building his truck. I've been following along his build. So I recommend you guys going to check it out. I think I'm going to sign off for today. I think it's probably going to be Friday when I release this. So happy Friday to you all. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Get something done on your rigs.